back. Want to grow your own herbs but don't have much space to work with? Not a problem. Carson's back with simple DIYs to create your own small space herb gardens, which I think is such a great idea right now. Hey, Carson.
Hey, Tracy. Yeah, everybody wants fresh herbs for the summer. I mean, on the barbecue, in the salads, but we don't always have a lot of space to grow them. So going small has been a big trend this year.
It sure has been. So I love the idea of having that fresh product right outside your door or even in your kitchen. So what does the first one look like?
Well, I'm all about the tower. Now, these towers are store-bought towers that I think are fantastic. Basically, they've put a pole with pots mounted directly into them so you can plant herbs. And I'm going to show you one that I've got done here. This is another style, just like that. So now you've got all of your herbs in one small space. Literally, this is 1 square foot by about 3 feet tall. You can have rosemary, I've got tarragon, oregano, I've got all of the good stuff in one tiny little space here, which is fantastic because if you're thinking about the amount of fresh herbs that you're really going to cook with, this is going to do the trick for you for basically a family of 4. Got some other cool ones though for you, Tracy. I got one for you for your front door. Now, I know it sounds a little odd to grow herbs in the front door, but what if you did it in an potted wreath like this?
Cute.
Isn't that cute? I love it. So they're all little individual pots that you can plant up. And I've got one done here for you. I'm going to pull it up. Isn't that great?
That is so good.
And so welcoming on a front door or on a side door, even at the back door, hanging on a wall. You can put this almost anywhere and you've got all of your herbs planted and it looks cute and it's inviting, and I love that because you're harvesting from it, but at the same time looks good too, so it's a piece of decor. Now I've got a couple of simple little hacks for you that I'm going to show you so that you can do this yourself. The first one we're going to emulate is this tower pot. Now, I'm going to pull this big terracotta planter over here because you want something big that has a little bit of weight on it. This is going to be the base of your planter. Now, I've shown this before. It's been very popular, so I'm going to show it one more time. You're just going to stick a bamboo pole in. I like to put it in the center. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered because if you've got lots of weight, it doesn't matter. But then what you're going to do is pull out these pots. Now, these are just leftover pots that I had from some potted shrubs that I put in the garden this year. But you got to make sure they have lots of holes in the bottom. The holes are the keys to this. You're literally just going to slide the pot over the stake, down the hole, just like that. Easy, right?
Yeah.
You're going to keep repeating it, but every time you put one in, you're going to put it on the angle. So slide that over there. It gets a little bit stuck sometimes. We're going to slide it down. But now you can see what I'm doing here. I'm starting to build my tower of pots, each one off to the side. So then when I plant in it, I'm going to plant in just like that. And I'll actually have flowers growing. Keep adding more pots until you're at the top of your bamboo pole, but you really have no limitations. You can actually create as many herbs as you want, and this whole thing cost me very, very little. I had the pot, these were leftovers and one bamboo stake. Simple. Now I got a really simple one for you too if you want to work on a wall space. This is such a simple project. This is just gas pipe, literally an elbow, a bracket for mounting, and the pipe. And this basically looks like a towel rack almost, but you can get pots that actually have hooks, kind of like this. You can now hang the pots on your homemade towel rack. Even easier, you can take a simple bucket like this guy here, take the handle off of it. I've bent it so I can take the handle off, put a little bracket and a little chain, and immediately I now have a hanging planter. This cost me $1.50. I'm not going to tell you where, but I'm pretty sure you can guess. And it's such a simple little project. You can hang pots anywhere. So don't be overwhelmed and don't think that you have to have a big space to have a garden. You can have herbs almost any spot in your backyard.
I love these ideas, especially with the wreath. I mean, I think all you have to do is make sure that the pots are sort of facing upward so that the herbs you're growing like actually stay in. But oh my gosh, they're so good. So since we have you with us, Carson, you know that we like to bend your ear a little bit. It's prime gardening season. And we have got some viewers who have sent in questions for you. So here's the first one. It's from Nadia.
Hi Carson, would love to get some help from you. We've had 2 Japanese maples in the same spot that haven't survived. We're thinking that the soil is a bit too wet. Looking for your recommendation on what we can put in its place in terms of a plant or a flower. Here it is.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I don't think a third Japanese maple is going to be the right solution for you here, Nadia. So the one thing I'm noticing about your landscape design is everything is very structural. All your trees and shrubs are sort of one standing there by itself. Nothing's really linking them together. I suggest that in that spot you put a hydrangea or something flowering and then repeat that hydrangea a couple more times around your pergola. That's going to add some connectivity in your garden. Right now it just all feels very segmented. You want to link it together, so a repeating plant will do just that for you, and hydrangeas love wet soil.
Ooh, okay, that is very good advice there. Next up, Carson, we have an email from Malika, who writes, I have a 3-year-old tea rose bush. The first year there were beautiful yellow roses, but from the second year onwards the buds would partially open up and then dry up and fall off. I fertilize every 3 weeks and water daily. It has luscious green leaves and lots of buds, but none of them got the chance to open. What do you think, Carson?
Well, I think the clue to this problem solver is that she waters daily. Roses, especially hybrid teas, if you get those petals wet, they will stick together. You can actually seal the bulb tight if you get water on the petals. It's almost like glue, so the actual bulb never has a chance to open up. So when you're watering roses, make sure you're only watering from the ground. That will allow a lot more airflow through there. The bulbs will, or the blossoms will stay dry so that they can actually expose and give you the show that you're looking for.
You've always got the right answers. So we need you for one more now. It's our last question, and it is from Khalil. Let's take a listen.
Hi, Carson. So we have this beautiful European tricolored beech, and as you can see, the branches are getting quite low. We've never trimmed it, and I was wondering when the best time would be to trim them.
Wow. Okay, yeah, those branches are beautiful, and I can see why Khalil's held off on it, but the truth is they got to go. Both of those branches need to come off because they're no longer allowing your family to safely be in that area. So cut them off now, and we're going to cut them off straight to the trunk, so as flat to the trunk as possible. The whole branch, not a prune, the whole branch. Take it off, and if you do it close to the trunk, the tree will have a better ability to heal over it.
Really interesting, Carson. I think a lot of us look at our plants and our trees and we just hesitate to cut anything. And I know once Leo really aggressively pruned a tree and it bloomed so beautifully in the next gardening season. So you really do have to just get in there and get rid of the things that are not working on your tree, don't you?
Absolutely. Done properly, plants thrive. Don't worry about their feelings. It's much like cutting your hair. Sometimes you just got to do it.
Sometimes you just got to do it, Carson.